God had me go through a season in my life where I was feeling lonely, and not lonely in terms of not having people around me or anything like that, but it was like my friendships that I thought that I would have forever. God sort of dismantled those relationships. And even with family, family, I thought, our family would always be connected and we would always have, a great relationship. But even God severed some of those relationships, even within my own family. And so I felt a sense of loss. I felt a sense of sadness. And the reason why it bothered me, to share a little bit about my past personality that I had, one of the things that I used to wrestle with in my life was I've always wanted to be accepted. And so, I've always thought that it was important to have a lot of friends, have a lot of people around me. And, that would make me feel whole, and, that would make me feel loved. Well, God said, you know what? No, I'm going to send you through a season where I am going to have these people separate from you. It was family and it was friends as well. And God said, you know what? I'm going to have you in a season where it's just going to be you and I. Right. And of course, I had my husband and all that good stuff. But, God said, you know what? I am going to have you to be alone. I'm not going to have your friends and family as a crutch for you anymore, because I used to feel like I needed to lean on my family and friends a lot. And so anyway, so I would always feel like I always had to have friends and all these people around me and, all these people in my home. And, if they were in my home, that mean that they loved me and that mean that they cared for me. Not. So God said, you know what, my daughter, I am going to dismantle all of these relationships. Of course, he left me with, wonderful relationships that I have, and, ones that were really genuine, that truly loved me. And he did leave me with some of those family members and some of those friends. But, God said, you know what, daughter, I'm going to separate you. I'm going to have you not rely on your friends and your family anymore. I need you to learn to lean on me more. So if you are feeling a sense of loneliness, just know that it is a season. There is a reason for God sending you through this season. It is meant for your friends to go away. It is meant for your family members to go away. Let them go, because it is a part of God's plan for your life. And that doesn't mean that they were bad people, or that doesn't mean that they did something wrong to you or anything like that. It is part of God's plan for your life. Because now that I think about it, it was such a wonderful season for me. And I didn't think that I would survive, but I cried many days and I was hurt by it and I was devastated by it. And I had this heavy sense of loss. And it's like, oh my God, the very, thing that I thought that I needed, I didn't, because all I needed was my relationship with God, right? And to make that even more strong and more powerful. But I'm saying all that to say that it's all a part of God's plan. And yes, it will be painful. And yes, you will shed tears. And yes, you will question God and say, well, why aren't they calling? Why aren't they reaching out to me? My family or my friends. We will go through that season and you'll wonder, why, God? I just want to, go have coffee, or, I just want to have them in my home, or, I just want to be able to reach out to them. But God had a season in my life where he says, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to lean on me. You're going to trust in me. I don't want you to put, and the Bible talks about there should be no other man before God. And I will insert that scripture here. But yeah, it's part of God's plan. So let the tears flow and be upset, and you can even be angry with God. And listen, God can handle it. Okay, God has thick skin. He's not like us. So, just keep in mind that it's all part of God's plan. And will you begin to question and wonder why? Of course you will. Right? And that's okay. That's normal. But just know that it's all part of God's plan. Listen, I am on the other end of it now. So I am a living example that it's all part of God's plan and that will all work out for your good. So, I know it feels lonely, and I know you're wondering why, why did my friends leave? Why did my certain family members leave? What happened? What happened? God is showing his love for you. Right. And even sometimes we don't realize it, but a lot of times I learned from going through that season is that God's protecting us. God protecting our hearts, right? Because we don't truly know the heart of man. We don't know the heart of men and women. We don't know the hearts of our family member or our friends. We don't truly know their hearts. So sometimes God is protecting us. God is teaching us, listen, okay, you don't know this person like I know this person. You don't know him or her the way that I know this person. I'm trying to protect you. So just trust, right? right? That God knows what is best for your life. I am a living example that it will all work out for your good. Listen, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It built my strength and my confidence in the Lord. And I know now that I can lean on Him. I don't have to count on my friends anymore. I don't have to count on my family anymore. God is my strength. God is my rock. Don't look at it as a loss because you are gaining a closer relationship with God. You are learning to trust God, right? And guess what? God will send better friends into your life. And friends usually can become family. God will send better relationships into your life. He will enrich the loving relationships that you even have. Now, I am talking from experience that actually happened with me, right? He sent me even more enriched relationships with people, okay? So just hang in there, all right? And know that it's only a season and that it will pass, okay? So God bless you and be encouraged, and don't ever give up before the miracle happens. God bless. Bye.